heartbreak over the events of last night. Extend our condolences to the families of the 2 people murdered in this heinous attack. We need to guard against the cynicism of thinking of these attacks on order and our peace as regular, unavoidable things. I won't accept that. I know the community of Bend won't accept that. We have to stand together. We will stand together, including tonight, and we will mourn the people who lost their lives last night. And we'll do that because we know that in the face of the kind of chaos that we saw last night, we had brave first responders, brave citizens, people willing to stand up for their neighbors, and nothing illustrates Bend and Central Oregon more than that. So please, if you are struggling with what happened last night, please seek out help. We have resources set up for everybody. I want to thank our partners in law enforcement, Deschutes County Sheriff, the FBI, state police. I want to thank Governor Brown for all of the assets that the state police have offered to assist. And most of all, thank the Bend Police Department and our first responders, Bend Fire and Rescue, local medical professionals who responded heroically as they always do at St. Charles. And again, extend my condolences, my deepest sadness and heartbreak to the families of the 2 people who lost their lives last night. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for some questions. If you would raise your hands and not shout them out, I would really appreciate it. So I'll start with the bulletin.
And you can either repeat the question or I can give this to her.
Is there any evidence of an apparent motive at this time?
The question is there any evidence of an apparent motive at this time? And I'm going to hand that to you.
The motive we're still working through the investigative course. We won't have probably an answer to that until we are able to fully go through the material that we've located through the search warrant and any additional evidence. So at this time we're working diligently, and that's what we talked about a couple days before we are able to really clear that scene and look through the evidence of the search warrant.
Let me go ahead and get some other people first. OPB. The question is whether we can confirm whether this person worked at the Safeway.
I should just hold this. We're unable to confirm that right now. We are still working on what are the links to the Safeway itself and why was it through the Safeway area. So that will come out in a future part of the final investigation.
Central Oregon Daily.
Describe the SWAT activity in some detail at the apartment complex, the Fox Hollow apartment complex. I understand there were some voluntary evacuations of some units. How many search? We heard from some witnesses who say they were chased by SWAT toward apartments. Can you detail the situation?
Yeah, the question is, can we detail any information about what our CERT team or SWAT team or officers' actions took place at the Fox Hollow Apartments behind the Safeway complex? As we mentioned, the Fox Hollow Apartments were connected to this by our shooter lived in that area. We have serged a search warrant in one of the apartments where he lived. There was information early on that as the shooter left the apartment, that's when the shots began. And so that area has evidence. It required us to lock down that area for the search warrant. However, during that process is when we discovered the potential of explosives, and we requested the assistance from Oregon State Police Explosive Disposal Unit before our officers or anyone went in to conduct the search warrant. During that time, we asked an 8-unit complex to evacuate for their safety, and I'm not familiar with any information about anyone being chased. I think at this point I don't have the information directly connection to Mountain View High School, but what information is out there on the internet that I think a lot of people have referred to or have seen is earlier plans of some sort of attack at Mountain View High School, and that was on the internet, and we haven't really connected that yet as far as his connection.
Okay, to you.
So
The question is, was that part of a manifesto or something he'd posted online?
At this point, I'm not ready to say that was directly connected with the manifesto or anything he posted online. We have that information. A lot of people have sent us follow-up information about what has been posted on social media or other outlets, and our investigators will sift through that information and make those connections if it's truly connected, and ensure that we have accurate information before we put that out.
Yes, sir.
Is there any indication on the legality of the gun sales?
The question is what the legality of the gun sales is. We're currently working with ATF to determine what the status of those guns are. Yes, sir.
Can you be more specific when you say the employee of the store engaged the shooter? And also, can you give us the spelling of the victims, just so we don't have it yet?
Sure. The spelling of the victims to start. Glenn, Glenn, Edward, common spelling, Bennett, Bennett, 84-year-old Bend resident. He was the person who was shot near the front of the store. And the second victim is Donald, standard spelling, Ray, R-A-Y, Surratt, S-U-R-R-E-T-T, Jr., 66-year-old Bend resident. This is the Safeway employee who engaged with the shooter, which is to say he attempted to disarm the shooter and attacked this person. And we believe he prevented further deaths, that in addition to the quick police response. That
But
those.
did not have a firearm himself. It sounds like it was a physical altercation. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
How many people were in the Safeway at the time, and how many were assisted by the employees?
That is an excellent question. The question was how many people were in the store at the time and were assisted by employees. Do you have that information?
I do not have that information at this point, exactly how many people were there. There was a lot of people coming out of the store. That's a busy area, as we all know, with a lot of shopping areas there, a lot of stores. It was a very busy parking lot at the time, 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. But I don't have the exact numbers of how many people were inside the store. I know a lot of witnesses from inside the store and in the area were sheltering in place in other stores in the area, and our investigators spoke with witnesses throughout the night. But
Were the Safeway employees actively helping everybody get out?
that I can't tell you right now as well. I don't have that exact information.
Bola. The question was, do we have any indication of how many shots were fired in the parking lots and or in Safeway? As I mentioned, it's a very large scene, and our officers are still collecting evidence, so I don't have that number at this time. I will try to get that and include it in a press release. Yes, sir.
I just want to clarify one thing about the items you recovered. You said Molotov cocktails, ammunition, and shotgun digital devices. Where did that happen? Is that in the Safeway or
The question was, where was the additional evidence recovered from? My understanding is the Molotov cocktails and the sawed-off shotgun were found in the suspect's vehicle, and the digital devices and ammo were found in the apartment. I have time for 2 more questions. Yes?
Can you confirm that the online messages that were referring to it was under a handle wrath of man?
The question is whether the messages from the suspected shooter were from a particular handle, Wrath of Man 22.
At this point, I don't have that information to confirm. We're still conducting an investigation on the digital side of this.
Okay, and last question.
How long did the shooting last in total from the beginning of the Safeway up until the end? And where was the alleged shooter found dead?
So,
Was it in the produce section?
so the question is, how long did the incident last inside of Safeway, and where was the shooter found? Our first calls from 911 and our dispatches came through at 7:04 p.m. The shooter was found deceased in the produce section at 7:08 p.m. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will send out a press release. You can reach me if you have any other questions.